let's talk about the Black Myth Wukong stuff. Now, for those of you who may not know, I mean, you should know by now, considering not only have we all covered it, but I've streamed it like once or twice now, and everybody else has also. Grums put out a tweet here saying Black Myth Wukong $7 million shakedown by SBI with a question mark. The developer Game Science claims companies like Sweet Baby Inc. are asking the studio for $7 million in guidance fees to fix their game and the studio's image. Game Science was slammed by IGN for its founder's sexual innuendo and remarks which they claim was sexist. The studio claims that the attacks were made in order to extort the guidance fees, which they refused to pay. The founder of the studio has a controversial style that can easily get him in trouble with the wrong think crowd. Now, if I'm not mistaken, before we get into it, I believe that people have kind of went over that IGN post, which, by the way, I believe was from Rebecca something, the same lady. Yeah, the same lady who was sitting next to Alyssa during that whole Fight Me video. That article that she wrote has been getting roasted because apparently she added words that weren't there in the translation or something along those lines. She actually made it, she misconstrued it, basically, purposefully at that point. But I got to pull up that specific tweet talking about that. A lot of people are saying, well, obviously this is not verified yet. This is kind of up in the air. I don't know what more they need for verification aside from what the actual guy is saying, but that's besides the point. But I got to tell you that this makes so much sense because, like I said in my streams and I said in my videos, and you guys could take over after, we've seen Sweet Baby Inc. Well, I should say we've seen Kim Belair openly say that their strategy is that if they don't have people give them what they want, or if you don't have someone giving whatever consultancy firm that she's trying to teach to what they want, she essentially told you to terrify their marketing team, have a cup of coffee with them, sit down and tell them what would happen, essentially threaten them. What would happen?
Terrorism.
Extort them for $7 million.
What would happen if they didn't give them what they wanted? So for people out there who are trying to defend SBI and say, well, this is not true, we don't know that 100%. I mean, you got to be honest with yourselves. Do you really think this is that far-fetched to think about? I think the only thing that I'm completely dumbfounded on out of all this information is the $7 million. Everything else I find believable. I just can't believe that there's people out there spending millions of dollars like this for bullshit consultancy, for people to essentially make fake problems and give you fake solutions that they created the problem in the beginning. But that's besides. But anyway, you guys could continue while I look for that other.
It's a protection racket. It's basically like a mafia guy walking into somebody's nice developers you got here. Be a shame if somebody called them all racist. You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I want people to understand exactly what you're looking at here. You're talking about a fucking, like, it's a damn like a pyramid scheme. It's like, we either. See, you make it easy when you give them ammo, but we're either going to fuck up your reputation for you, and then you're going to pay us to fix it, or we can find something, right? Because everybody's said something that's politically incorrect. This is why we shouldn't let these people win, because even if you're on their side, at what point does your thought process become a problem? So you'll be on that side, right? Think of like what's her name? Gothics, right? Remember, she was a part of Black Girl Gamers before she thought, well, maybe a Black Little Mermaid doesn't make any sense. Then boom, cancel. Or J.K. Rowling, who was a raging feminist before she said, well, wait a minute, men in dresses in the restroom, in a woman's restroom? That doesn't make any sense. Then boom, now they doxing her. It's the same thing, guys.
Don't forget Anna Kasparian. Anna Kasparian on the fucking
dude,
is now being called a right-wing radical. Like
exactly. So that's what they do. Eventually, at some point, you can't win if their side wins, because eventually, some point, you're going to have something you said in the past, right or wrong, where they're going to be like, hey, listen, give us $7 million or we're going to have everybody write about this. And they're all in on it. Kotaku, IGN, whoever else, Polygon, whoever else. And they're pretty much scheming against you to make sure that you're going to, this is why they're so mad at us, because we're exploiting it. YouTube gives normal, everyday people who don't have time to be embroiled in this bullshit the answers. Like, okay, like last year, hey, I'm really interested in playing this Harry Potter game, but they're saying that these people are transphobic. And then here we come in and say, no, they're not fucking transphobic, and neither is J.K. Rowling.
Right.
Play the game if you want to. And they're like, oh, okay. And then voila, $22 million in sales, and that's why they were so fucking mad at it. They didn't even want to give it
they wanted to shut it
fucking
down.
award that it deserved. They
Right,
didn't acknowledge the game.
Till this day, I don't believe any mainstream establishment in an awards style setting has acknowledged Hogwarts Legacy till this day. And Hogwarts Legacy is still, I think, number 5 top seller till this day.
Ooh.
And it's only going to continue when they come out with the director's cut or whatever the fuck they're making. It's crazy. Like, but anyway, that's besides the point. You guys are right, though.
Legacy is EA. Who's the parent company?
Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers.
No, Warner Brothers game.
Think about the duality here, Smash. You got.
I know where you're going with Suicide
Go ahead.
Squad,
Go ahead.
right?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
So that's what I was gonna say is they probably realized, and I'm thinking on the fly because this is just coming to me. They probably realized with the bad press with Hogwarts Legacy that they're like, we don't want to do that mistake again. Let's try to embrace what they want us to do so that we get good press with Suicide Squad moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree.
I do too.
I disagree with that because
What?
I don't truly think the higher ups really care. Maybe the developers really care. The higher ups only saw the money, in my opinion.
Yep.
That's why the higher ups would do it though, because they see the money.
To go against, like, I mean, to pander to
no,
them?
saying that they were affected with Hogwarts Legacy not getting the awards, not getting the recognition, and it still sold. So they were probably like, we could probably make even more money with a major property getting major attention, and we get the nose ring mafia on our side pushing this game. But everything's gonna go bananas financially for us.
But if I remember correctly, they never advertised Suicide Squad being like, progressive or anything like that. Not that I'm.
They don't need to advertise. You're missing the background. The background point is this is an organized racket where you either participate with them or you're out of the club. Mm-hmm. So it's not about advertising. It's about getting good articles written about your game or not. So they got good articles written about their games because they participated.
They'll care about the money, so the good articles would mean game sells well.
I think what it was
according to their scheme.
But for that, I think what they thought was that, okay, here we have a game that is supposedly universally hated online, and it became the number 1 selling game in the country or in the world. I really don't remember. But regardless, it still became the number 1 selling game. We made so much money. Let's take this. Let's try to recreate another IP that's universally loved. But in this aspect, I think what it is that they thought to themselves, and it's a greed thing. They thought to themselves and they said, okay, we have this single player game we made a ton of money on and it was hated. Imagine if we take an IP that's loved and instead of making a single player game, let's make it a live service game. Imagine how much money we can bank on. And I think that's what ended up going into Suicide Squad, because it's really not the woke shit that ruined Suicide Squad. It's the live service aspect and the broken nature of the game. The woke shit was just added on top of it that really made people start looking deep and trying to figure out what the hell was going on.